This movie tells a story about Dante, Elias, Jay, and Silent Bob, who are enlisted by Randal after a heart attack to make a movie about the convenience store that started it all. This third installment in Kevin Smith's convenience store trilogy is really mediocre. The movie only runs on the nostalgia of the first film. This movie mostly replicates the much-told story of making the original 1994 movie, which takes the form of an endless series of winking allusions to some trivias amid a tedious restaging of that film's story beats. It's very much more of the same, though now the actors are far too old to believably get away with this kind of behavior. Repetition here doesn't do enough, unfortunately, mining the same material and milking the same jokes until utter depletion. The jokes that didn't work before still don't work now, especially 16 years after the second sequel, which itself was mostly throwbacks. The movie is stringing together some quips and side gags, unfortunately without a bit of wit or naughtiness. It's basically a bad comedy with constant callbacks and lousy performances. The movie is digging into this recycled material only to prioritize the hollow pleasure of recognition when actors pause for effect after each obvious callback. It's more like a celebration on these characters and set them up for an increasingly maudlin story arc. There's little interesting here as well, as it functions as a break from the forced antics and recreation of previous movie scenes. It's even more pointless when the filmmakers recreate greatest hits moments from the original, serving unintentionally to remind viewers how much more entertaining it would be to just rewatch the original. The script does some cultural box checking, but it's so brief and without an ounce of wisdom. The original movie successfully captured the inherent sweetness of the characters, who are regular and unexceptional people with mundane lives that are nonetheless worth sharing. But the characters here are largely disagreeable and unlikable, which ultimately makes their various exploits inconsequential and meaningless. The movie eventually reaches an awfully familiar conclusion, leading to a moment of reflection and reconciliation, but it's so played out in this film that it feels really tried. Overall, this movie is simply not funny. It's not fun and doesn't feel honest either. It's a terribly unnecessary sequel. We do not recommend this movie at all.